What's going on, family? Hey, Adventures of DW. This just came in from Amazon. My brand new alternator, man, for my Avalon. So I'm getting ready to go in here and try to take this thing out. And mind you, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a mechanic by far, but hey, I'm not too much of anything. I ended up splitting my toe in half about a week ago. So I'm down, bored a little bit. So I figured I'd do this. And then too, man, if I can save me $100-200, I'm gonna save it. So if you're get in here and try to put this in and put this alternator in, you know, I'm the kind, if I can't fix it, guess what? I can always pay for somebody to get in there and put it in right. So I'm at least try it just from a little bit of knowledge, man, from working doing simple stuff on cars. First thing I did was disconnect my battery. Because if it's connected, it's some electricity running through here somewhere, and I know this thing generates electricity. So, you know, went ahead and disconnected that. So what I'm gonna do first is go ahead and disconnect all the wires and connections down in there, take those off, and get to unscrewing and lowering the pulleys for my belts and get this thing off and show y'all that if I can do it, you can do it too. It's not that complicated, right? All right. If you can see here, there's a clip down on here, so a lot of time, well, what I had to do was stick the screwdriver down in there and pry it in and pull this out. Bam, it came out. This here, you're just gonna lift this gray cap. You may have to stick something down in there. Let's see, I'm trying to get it to where you can see it. Bam. Bam. Came up. Don't let this fall down in there. And you're just gonna unscrew this nut here. Okay, so finally got this nut to crank a little bit using a 10. I think this is 10 millimeter ratchet. Hey, I don't know if you guys just saw that, but you got to be careful with things dropping down. Some places, yeah, it'll go straight down to the ground. A lot of places, you drop your nut, you just lost your nut. So be careful when you're removing screws. So I'm gonna do it by hand, and I'll show you. So this is the nut off of that screw. So I'm gonna take that, take the cap that I pulled off, and I'm gonna put that here on the ground by my other tools, that way I don't lose it. So now we got it unattached from all the wiring. What else do we have? I think we got another wire where, yeah, right down here. And I'm gonna have to get out, and how I'm gonna do that, I don't know, because that's a tight spot and a small nut right there. So let me figure out how to get that off. So got to get technical with y'all. I got to bring out the big boy, the flashlight. So if you look right here, there's a nut right there, and I'm sure my battery's probably, or not my battery, my camera's kind of flickering because this is an LED light, but there's a battery, a little nut right there, but there's a plastic wire clip that holds that on to the alternator. You can just snap that off, or you can unscrew it if you want. But if the other alternator doesn't have it on there, well, it's kind of useless. The wire just sit right there. So now I'm getting ready to start unhooking the alternator from, I guess, the pulleys is what this is. Like I said, I'm not a mechanic, y'all. I just got common sense and kind of look at stuff and see where it goes and whatnot. So I'm gonna have to unloosen this nut, that nut right there. and then this thing, oh, this one here too, and the alternator start lowering once I do that. So we got that nut there and this one here. And if you really don't know what you're doing, but you can turn the screw or turn a wrench, man, if you look at the old or the new alternator, like it has two parts, two places where screw's gonna go, you're gonna have to undo that, and you're gonna have to undo this one. Other than that, and connect it. Like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard at all. So why pay somebody 200 bucks or more to install it when you can do it? So let me get in here, loosen this thing up, and then I'll show you exactly what it was I did. 30 minutes or an hour later, I got this screw off. This one here that goes, I guess, the upper housing part. And, well, I already put it in there just to make sure that it fit right here. Well, so you can see that's this screw here. I took that one off. That's the one that goes up top. Now I'm taking off this screw way down here at the bottom. And the way it's situated, it is really hard to take off. Not impossible, just hard. But I loosened up the tension nut, and what that did, that took a little tension off the belt. So I'm gonna try and get this thing to lower a little bit more, and well, it lowered enough for me to get in there and manipulate the screw a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this off and get this new one in before the sun goes down. It's probably around 4 or 5 o'clock. I may have another hour of sunlight. So let me try to take this alternator off, guys. Okay, so I got my belt off. Now I should be able just to pull this thing, get it there. So got this undone. We've got, let's see, I've got those bolts out. So now it's just a matter of just wiggling this thing out of here. So I need both of my hands, guys, and there's not enough light to show you. Well, I guess you can see. So see if I can find a place to set this. I can't. So let me go ahead and put my hands to use, and I'll try to snatch this thing out. I'm holding the alternator on, and I think it's a 12 millimeter right here. So I'm gonna wiggle that. I'm just gonna loosen that. I'm just gonna loosen that because I don't wanna. I don't really know what I'm doing. So I'm gonna loosen that to give me a little bit of space to pull this thing out. You just see here. Man, guess that's why all mechanics look alike, got big ass forearms, because this shit is hard. Okay, yeah. So you weren't watching, but it fell down. The arm fell down away from the alternator. So let's see if that will allow me to, and it doesn't. Okay. It's wiggling. See, I'm trying to show y'all and do some stuff at the same time, man. And it's almost impossible to lift this heavy piece of metal out of here with one hand. Alright. And this is the original alternator that was in this car, so go ahead and get this wire harness off of here. Here's my screwdriver. Got that out of there. And now, got this over. I should be able to. I keep saying should, but man, ain't nothing went like I thought it was gonna go. I thought this was gonna be a 30-minute job. Nope. Alternator said, you don't know what you're doing, young man, so we're gonna make this difficult. So it came off, but now I'm just having a hard time snatching it out. put my new one in. I mean, I'm literally fighting with this alternator, y'all. Trying to get him out of here. Almost. And yeah. I just took off our alternator. I'm really thinking about starting over tomorrow. Finishing up this job tomorrow, because I have really lost a lot of light. It's still light out here, but ain't no light going straight down into the engine compartment. You know what I mean? I gotta break out my flashlight and all this stuff. So I'm gonna try and at least set it in here, get everything set in. At least that way I'll feel better about myself. Make my chest feel a little bit bigger. So let me see if I can set this thing in here, get it in here the way I want it. Go from there. We'll see. Okay, so I didn't show you me setting this thing in here. I can tell you it wasn't easy, because you got, I guess I could have taken this bracket off, which is the hose that goes to the skibble blah blah, and it's connected to the doobly blah blah. But I didn't, and I did get it in here, so you can see everything matches up just like the old one. You know what I mean? It's just like putting a puzzle together. So now I have to connect all the bolts that I took out, and man, retighten that arm, and I'm back in business, and hook up all my cables, the cables right there, which is just putting a nut on and just pressing this one back in the little socket deal right there, and that's it. So let me see if I can do this before the sun goes down, and yeah, just save myself a little bit of money, and I feel like a little bit more of a man.